The housing market is shifting a little bit, and almost every day I get asked if the market is going to crash. Hi, I'm Stephanie Souza-Breault with Modern Nest Realty, and I'm here to give you the local market update on the Orcutt and the Santa Maria areas, and also to give you an overview of what is actually happening in the market. So let's start with Orcutt. We have about the same number of active listings last year versus this year. 58 last year and 57 this year. The average days on the market, though, has gone down quite a bit. Last year, it took 32 days to go into contract, and this year we're sitting at 15 days on the market. The prices have also continued to increase. In 2020, the average home sold in Orcutt cost $533,000. And July 2021, we're looking at the average price being $614,000. So the housing prices in Orcutt took a 15% increase compared to July 2020. So for the numbers for Santa Maria, we have more listings this July sitting at 47 versus last July we were at 38. The days on the market took about the same decrease as we saw in Orcutt. Last July, it was taking 35 days to go under contract, and this July 2021, we are at 19 days. Prices took an increase of 18% in the Santa Maria area. The average home cost in July 2020 was $434,000. Now we're sitting at $512,000. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about what is actually going on in the market. As you can see on this graph, we are seeing that the housing appreciation is continuing to rise. So this represents the nationwide housing. The increase is continuing month over month compared to last year. Now, the question is, are we in a housing bubble? Well, there's a big difference from what we experienced last time and what's going on now. Dr. Frank Nothart, the chief economist of CoreLogic, states that there are marked differences in today's running up in prices compared to 2005, which was a bubble fueled by risky loans and lenient underwriting. Today's loans with high-risk features are absent and the underwriting is prudent. That is the biggest difference from the housing crash before and what we're actually seeing going on today. Raised concerns that a home price bubble is emerging. However, conditions today are quite different than that in the early 2000s, particularly in terms of credit availability. The current climb in housing prices instead reflect strong demand and tight supply, helped along with record low interest rates. So now, are we in a housing bubble? Nope. It's supply and demand issue, not a subpar underwriting and lending issue that we experienced before. The main driver of the housing shortfall has been the long-term decline in the construction of single-family homes, as chief economist of the Economic and Housing Research from Freddie Mac stated. Now, we all know that 2020 was a super crazy year for many, many reasons, and many people have gone into forbearance situations with their properties. So people are asking, well, since they're forbearance, aren't there a bunch of houses that are going to come on the market soon? Won't the market crash? And they're waiting for that to happen so they can scoop up properties. But this graph here shows that the original projection for the amount of houses that would be in a forbearance would be 30%. But that's actually not what's happening. In the beginning of May 2020, 8.47% of households were in forbearance. But today, only 3.5% are in a forbearance situation. What that means in actual numbers, nationwide, the number of homes in forbearance are under 2 million households. So to put it in relation to how this was during the housing crash versus today, according to the Wall Street Journal, between 2006 and 2014, 9.3 million households went through a foreclosure, gave up their house to a lender, or sold it in a distressed sale. So in the beginning, I stated that the market is changing a bit. On this graph, it shows you the amount of showings through Showing Time, which is an appointment scheduling app that realtors use. January through April, the amount of showings were heading up, but in the last 3 months, the amount of scheduled showings have been decreasing. So it's still a seller's market, but we may be seeing a turn in the market a little bit. Less multiple offers are happening, and sellers need to be cautious on how they price their home to attract buyers, knowing that the sales activities are starting to decline a little bit. So what does that mean for buyers? Lawrence Yun, the chief economist at NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, put it best by stating, at a broad level, home prices are in no danger of a decline due to tight inventory conditions, but I do expect prices to appreciate at a slower pace by the end of the year. Ideally, the cost for a home would rise roughly in line with the income growth, which is likely to happen in 2022, as more listings and new construction become available. So, to sum it up, the economists are confident that there will be no housing crash, but as more inventory actually becomes available, the strong seller's market will start to soften a little bit. We covered a lot of information in this video, from the local numbers of Orcutt Santa Maria to the nationwide statistics and the projections for the future in the housing market. If you have found this to be helpful, be social and please share it with somebody that might find it beneficial as well.